Good morning, everybody from in Australia. It is a beautiful morning here, and we are outside in the garden. I did start off in my office, and then I was just guided to come out into the garden, I suppose to be with the fairies and the elementals for this really lovely talk that I'm very excited about sharing today, which is about spirit guides, what spirit guides are, how they work, and how you can find out who is your spirit guide right now. So I'll just say a couple of things first. First of all, there's a link to my lifestyle mentoring page, I think, here. And lifestyle mentoring sessions are a lot more expensive than just a basic reading. So basic readings with me go for an hour and they're $50 Australian. If you'd have any questions about that, or you'd like to book a reading, just simply send me a message and that will be fantastic. All right. Now, I was also guided this morning. So this book that I've owned for years and years and years has a little quote in it that I'd like to read to you, the little Zen Companion. I do not know. Look, this book, I've probably had it 30 years. Who knows? Okay, the little Zen Companion. And I opened it this morning. I felt led to open it this morning. And I read this and I thought, wow, that's just going to be the perfect thing to start our talk. Okay, so it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Now, that is just so true, isn't it? But particularly when we're talking and working with our spirit guides in any type of ethereal realm, this is very true. So what is important is visible to the heart first, and often not to the eye, although some people do see things with their eyes, and occasionally I see things with my actual eyes, but mostly I see and feel things within myself, and that's how I work and do readings. I channel it, and I am able to tune into what's going on around me and who's there and what they've got to say and yada yada, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're really talking about working with our hearts and using our third eye to see what's going on rather than our physical eyes, which is why in meditation often we will be encouraged to close our eyes when we're early meditators, and that just shuts out what's going on around us a little bit. And if we seek a quiet spot and we can close our eyes and close a door, we're going to be less likely to be triggered with thinking and feelings and ideas and annoyances and all of that. We can just close our eyes and go more easily within so that we can access our information coming from our heart and our own intuition. So this is the space that we need to be in when we are seeking to connect with our spirit guides, because our spirit guides aren't in a flesh form, they're not in a body form, which means we can't sort of say, hey, how you going, really, and see them as you would a dog or a person or a tree or anything in our world. We just need to be quiet and go within and just switch on that part of ourselves to be able to connect with that level of being. So let's have a little bit of an explanation now about spirit guides and what they actually are. So the term, the name gives it away completely. So a spirit guide. So these are beings that are able and there to help us, to help our spirits, to help us in our spiritual path, to help us with our, the more subtle, we've got the physical realm, and then we have the more subtle realms, and they are to do with our mind, they are to do with our body, they are to do with our heart energies, they are to do with our higher selves. So much of it that mainstream and modern knowledge doesn't really know much about. But just because the mainstream knowledge and the science isn't there, the physical science isn't there to back it up, doesn't mean that it's not real and it's not true. And I'm sure if you've joined this talk and you're watching, you will have had experiences where you've felt spirit guides and you've felt other beings and you've felt other energies around you, whether that's your own intuitive voice leading you in a certain direction, or whether that is actually getting guidance from a specific loved one who has transitioned, or a spirit guide or an animal. And so you've felt that in your heart and you've followed that, even though that physical evidence isn't there. So often the physical evidence, that the science world, which is wonderful, can take a little while to catch up with this more subtle world. You might want to, if you're interested in this, looking at the yogic idea of there being 5 sheaths, 5 bodies, and sort of going down that line, having a look at the chakra system, having a look at the auric field. What is it? How does it get there? What does it do? All of that is to do with the subtle world, which is where the spirit guides are contacting us from. So a guide for your spirit. So a guide for your highest good is what this really is. Your highest good, not your idea of what you need or what you think is good or what you've been told or you read is good, but your actual highest good. Now, you might be in situations aware of your highest good, or you may not be aware. And that's okay. It doesn't matter whether we're aware or not. Our highest good is there, which is why we have all the circumstances and things happening in our life that we sort of think, why is this happening? And I want to change this, or I love this, or I don't love this. But it's all happening for our highest good. At the end of the day, it is for our highest good, even if that time we can't see it. So our spirit guides are guiding our spirit for our highest good. Now, I can remember years ago in the 90s when I first started out feeling and seeing and working professionally in this area and really connecting with spirit guides and others who could see and feel. And I was learning from people much older and wiser than myself. I imagined that spirit guides and angels and fairies and all of these plant beings and humans that we love that have transitioned, I imagined them as all sort of being sort of, if you can imagine a workplace, everyone being a little bit different and everyone doing different jobs and being on different levels. Oh, you know, the angelic realm is here and very structured. And, you know, the spirit guides are here and this is what they do and this is what they look like and this is how many you have at this age and that age or this circumstance or that circumstance. It was very structured. And that was an understanding that stuck with me for such a long time until I began to understand things a little differently, which is that it isn't actually structured like that. That's how our minds in this form are able to understand things. We like to label things, we like to put them in a box, and we like to structure things. That helps us to understand and digest what's going on. But that's not how it exactly works. So, you know, we don't have one angel and 2 guides and 1 dog and 1 cat and they all do their certain jobs and no lines are crossed, and the fairies only stick in the elemental world with the plants and the gardens and the soils and you know, the gnomes look after the minerals and that's what they do, and the humans do their job. And it's sort of not as linear as that. It sort of moves around like a beautiful art piece and it flows. So today we're talking just about spirit guides. We're not talking about angels and whatnot. We're talking about spirit guides. Now, with spirit guides, remembering that the spirit guide that you have right now, is for your highest good. So where you are at right now, this is you, this is where you're at. And this spirit guide's coming in and it's there and they are there to help you move to the next step for your highest good. It may not be, you might have an idea, oh, you know, I want more money, or I want a certain house, or I want a certain holiday, or I want certain clothes, or I want someone to be healthy, or I want to be healthy. Any of these things. It's not, these are our wants and desires, but it's not necessarily for our highest good. I mean, that's not to say that we can't have those things, but we've got to come back to what's for my highest good right now. So I'm going to ask you to just tune in and ask yourself quickly, and the first answer that comes will be the right answer, so without thinking about it. So just closing your eyes and just feeling into that question. What is for my highest good right now? Okay, so you will have gotten an answer, or maybe you haven't, and that's okay as well. So with that answer that you got, how did it feel to you? Does it have a feeling of like home and food and the material physical world, or does it have more of a feeling to do with your heart? Does it have a feeling to do with your mind? What what feeling does it have with it? So when you're able to work out what's my highest good right now? Oh, I can feel it's something to do with my mind. It's something to do with my head. Okay, great. All right. So now I'm just going to ask you to once again close your eyes. And I apologize. I was just so excited. I didn't start with us just being calm. So let's start by being calm now. And I'll talk you into that calmness. So just closing your eyes. Noticing your body, coming into your body, being present in your body. Feeling your feet on the ground or your bottom on a seat. Just noticing your skin and where it's making contact with the chair, the floor, the bed. Becoming aware of your breath. Noticing the breath flowing in and out through your nostrils, mouth closed, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Allowing your natural breath. Becoming aware of the base of your spine. And the root chakra. Beautiful, deep red. Just grounding yourself. Seeing that light coming from the root chakra down into the earth, anchoring there. Feeling really grounded, safe and secure. Following the energy up the spine. To the heart, center, the chest, heart chakra. Up through the throat, to the third eye, right to the top of your head and just above. Seeing a beautiful clear light flowing throughout the center of your body. Now we're feeling lovely and calm and grounded. And we give thanks for this time together. And we give thanks for the information and guidance we receive for the highest good. Party on. Okay. So now that we've calmed and grounded, so we had a look at what is for the highest good, and now just closing our eyes, and now we've identified what's our highest good. You know, it doesn't have to be an exact thing. And where is it? A mind thing, a heart thing, a feeling thing, an energy thing, a physical thing? What is it that's for our highest good? Now noticing around you. Noticing around your body, the space around your body, noticing to your sides, to the back, noticing around you, and what can you see there? Who can you see there? Now, what does this being look like to you? Does it have, is it big? Is it made mostly of light? Is it somebody that you know or you're familiar with? Is it somebody, a being like an elemental, a fairy that belongs, that feels like it belongs in the natural environment, that you could imagine it with a tree or growing into a tree or helping a tree to grow? Is it a being that could help nurture a baby or help nurture a young animal? If you can see more than one being, you just have more than one spirit guide working with you at the moment, and neither one is more or less important than the other. They're all important and they're all doing their job for your highest good. So you may have a desire, oh, I want to move here, I want to have this house, but that may not be the best thing for you. That may not be for your highest good. So when we are able to listen to our spirit guides and allow them to guide us and direct us, We're able to see, oh no, this is, what's for my highest good. What is the first thing I need to do? I remember years ago learning that in playing with tarot cards and whatnot, and having to ask the question, what do I need to do next? So what do I need to do next? Sometimes that action can be as simple as doing the dishes, having a shower, going to sleep, talking to a friend. And it can be also massive, the thing that we need to do next. But we need to ask, what do I need to do next? And what do I need to do next for my highest good? Now, your guide is 100% there for you, 100% to help you for your absolute highest good. So now that you've worked out, around about what that highest good's got to do with, that, whether that's the body and all of that, and the feeling and where that's coming from and where you're holding it, the body and all of that. Now you've got a bit of an image or a bit of a feeling about who that spirit guide is. Okay, so just going back into your quiet space, your calm space. Now really looking at this guide, bringing your attention to this guide and looking at it. Connecting and noticing. What does this guide look like? What are their eyes like? Can you feel the love radiating from them? What are they asking you to do? If you could trust and surrender to them and their guidance, what are they asking you to do? Just remembering what that is. Now ask them, what could you do to help that happen? What action might you take? And now just saying thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for guiding me. Spirit guides don't have egos in the way that we do. So they're not wanting to be thanked. They don't need to be paid. They don't have bodies and houses and everything to maintain. They don't need money. It's just a different thing. So they don't need any of that. What they need, like any spiritual beings that we work with, is our love. It's just our love. That's the currency. That's the currency. So when we connect with a spirit guide and they're there, they've got our back. They are 100% working for our highest good. So when we have times where we feel like we're alone and it's a struggle and it's hard and it's terrible, we actually have guides with us who are willing to help us. All we need to do is ask. But they're not our employees. We're not the boss. So they're not our employees. We can't say to that guide that you've seen, that you've now identified as your guide right now, this is your guide right now for your highest good. The being that you saw and felt is your guide. Now, you can tell that guide absolutely anything you want to. You can share anything. You can cry. You can shout. There is no judgment. This guide is not going to work with you more or less. This guide is simply there for your highest good. And if holding the space for you to cry is for your highest good, then that is what's going to happen. If helping you to go for a walk is what is the best thing for you to do for your highest good, then that is what's going to happen. Our spirit guides work for us and work with us, not for as in a work for our highest, work with us for our highest good. But like I said, they're not an employee. It's not, oh, I've decided I want a better house. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask God and I'm going to ask all the spirit guides to make it happen because that's what I think I need. I need a bigger house. And then, oh, I didn't get a bigger house. Oh, like obviously God and the spirit guides and that don't exist, or maybe I'm a bad person and they don't love me or whatever. It's not human. It's not human. So this judgment and this need to be paid and it's just a different world. Not that our world is wrong, but it's a different world. So when we can go to our spirit guides and we can say, right, I want your guidance, spirits, for my highest good. I want you to tell me what to do, because they're so much more aware than what we are, which is why they're spirit guides assigned to helping us. So, say, look, I have this situation. I don't have enough money, or my house, I don't have a home, or I'm in a terrible situation with my relationship or my health, something. And I just need to know, what do I need to do for my highest good? And I'm totally open to you helping me achieve this highest good. So that's the way. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not somebody, you giving a directive and then getting it. Yeah, oh yeah, no, sure, I will do that for you. Not like that, but being able to say, what do I need what right now? And I know it sounds funny that you'd be asking someone else what you need, but if you are in a state of distress, or if you are not a fully awakened being, which I don't think, look, I have not met physically in this lifetime, in this incarnation, a properly awakened being. But if if you're an awakened being, it's we're on a whole different level, but none of us are. So there we go. So we're not. So in that situation where you might even be feeling really happy and healthy and amazing and full of energy, why do I need any help? I don't need any help. I'm going so well. I don't need to. But still at that point say, what could I do now? How could I channel this beautiful energy, or could I share it? Is there anything I need to do? Every single day when I wake up and I have my beautiful green tea and quiet time, I'm asking, what do I need to do today? And what I'm doing is, I'm not serving something outside of me. I'm not serving a God or a spirit or anybody else. I'm actually serving myself, because these spirit guides are offering to help us for our highest good. So they're just wanting to help us for our highest good. That's what they're wanting to do. So when I say, what do I need to do for what can I do today for my highest good? You tell me. I'm actually serving myself. Do you see how that loop works? They have our highest good at heart. And if we ask, hey, listen, what's for my highest good, and I may not be able to pick up on that. So you tell me what's for my highest good, and then do that. And then your spirit guide will help you for your highest good, because your spirit's guide's allegiance isn't to your ego. It isn't to your suffering. It isn't to your judgment. It isn't to your pain. It isn't to your happiness. Your spirit guide allegiance is to your highest good. So they will always serve highest good. It doesn't matter how much you cry or how many tantrums you have for not getting what you think you need. Your spirit guide's going to help you for your highest good. Okay, so bringing that guide back now. Who is there with you right now? This is the guide you need right now. So this is a little bit different to thinking that, the guide I need to get my desire, or the guide I think I need to get me out of trouble. No. You've got the guide or guides that you need right now. And I'm going to speak a little bit about the guides that you can have. Getting back to me in the 90s, and when I started doing this, and my idea of how things looked and how things were, spirit guides, however you think they look, whether you think they have wings or they don't have wings or whatever, I don't know, whatever image that you have when you think a spirit guide, a spirit guides can do these things, right. Maybe and maybe not. Did you know that your spirit guide can actually be an animal? Your spirit guide can come from the elemental world, which is the fairy realm. Now, the fairies in the elemental world are what concern with making the natural world work and everything to line up, the plants to grow, the earth, the soil, all the worms and all of that business. That's their all the natural world is their get up, is their gig. So you might have a spirit guide from the natural world. Your spirit guide may even be a being that's not quite of this world and not quite of a different realm, such as, for instance, a tree. Now, Indigenous peoples for millennia have understood this, and they have listened to the guidance of the trees, of the stars, of the air, of the waves, of the ocean as a whole. They've listened to this as a guide. So when we're looking to see who our spirit guide is right now, it's important that we have a very open mind to understand that our spirit guide could be anybody. It could be anybody in the natural world, like a tree or a mountain, not a leaf or one stick or one earthworm or whatnot, no. But soil, not soil either. I know I'm using my intuition to work all this out, but let's just keep it to trees, oceans, beaches, so major places like that, rather than an individual aspect of that major thing. So not a branch, but the whole tree, not a little grain of sand, but the whole beach, not a wave, but the whole ocean. So these can be spirit guides for us, as can those that look after these. So the fairies and the elementals can also be spirit guides for us. Animals are absolutely amazing spirit guides. You might have a very wild animal. Someone might be living somewhere where there are wolves or kangaroos or paddy melons or possums or, whatever. So these can speak to us as well. Anything of the natural world that's not contaminated by ego and thoughts and desires and suffering and whatnot as we are. So these can be spirit guides, but also our spirit guides can be those that we love, either we knew them or we didn't know them, who have transitioned into a different realm. When we are open to our spirit guide being absolutely anybody devoted to our path of light and our highest good, we can then open that sphere right up, and they don't look like how I would have in the 90s imagined them to look like, which is not exactly how they looked like. But anyway, so coming back now to who you saw your spirit guide just then when I did that with you, can you see, do they have a helper like Lord Ganesh? If you know Hindu philosophy, Lord Ganesh is the elephant god, and it's got the little tiny mouse. It's its transport. Isn't that amazing? It's its magic. It just represents, it's everything. It's allegory. It's what it represents. So looking at your spirit guide now, can you see, does it have an animal or a helper with it at all? Okay, if it does, this little helper is going to be your way, your mode of transport, like that little mouse with Lord Ganesha. This is going to be your mode of transport. So you've got your guidance from your guide as to what's best for you right now for your highest good, and then you've got your mode of transport to get there. So you should have now two answers or two things that you know. The guide that's with you right now for your highest good. And hopefully you now understand what's that guide telling you or showing you or wanting you to know. So remember asking, what can I do? What do you need me to hear? I am listening. I am open, please, and get some direction. So you are receiving that. Now you've got your little mode of transport, if you have, of how that's going to happen. So now you can see you've got a few more pieces of the puzzle. You know what's going on, and you know how it's going to happen, which is really empowering. Now, I'm sitting here in this, gosh, it's just such a beautiful sunny day, and I'm just lapping up the sunshine. It's so lovely. And I'm feeling that that's maybe enough information on this bit of this topic for right now. So I'm going to stop talking. And as I'm channeling and talking, I'm not checking messages and whatnot. So I can have a quick look now, and I can respond to messages as they come up. I'll probably just talk, speech, respond. Or maybe if it's later on with this video, if you're watching this video later on, I will, if you leave any questions there, I will definitely get back to you in the comments. If you need to send me a message, a private message, just simply go to the Teresa Daily Online Readings Facebook page and send me a private message, and I will definitely get back to you. If you are interested in having a reading with me, that would be fantastic. I charge $50 Australian for 1 hour. And you can just send me a message and we'll work out a time that best suits us both. And I'm very flexible, but I don't do readings after 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. would be my final appointment, because I cook dinner and I go to bed very early because I get up very early. That's just the way that it is. And I don't generally work on weekends, but sometimes I can if that's important to you. So I'm just rambling on to give you a chance to write something. But I'm going to be quiet in a minute now. So let's close this energy and this guidance. I can feel a lot of love here, which is just what we want to be feeling. Beauty and love. Thank you all very much for being here. Really, I'm so excited and happy that others are willing to learn such things and empower themselves in this way. Thank you to Spirit. Thank you to this warm sunshine. Beautiful day. I'm going to sit here quietly and just see if anybody has any questions. And if you don't, that's okay too. It may be a little bit of time goes past and you think of something, you can always just send me a message. All my love to you. God bless. And I'm just going to sit here for a minute and have a look. Okay. So I'm looking at things here. I don't know what someone's put on here. I think it's just junk mail. What the hell? Oh, won't worry about that one. This is a lovely thing for me to do, just sit here and hold space. I still struggle with it a little bit. Very much a mover and talker, as you can see, but sitting and holding space for you is good too. It's something I've recently been learning about, which is the yin, you know, which is the receiving and just the holding space as an action. Never really understood it in the past. You know, I've sort of thought that action was you know, needed to be action, needed to be doing, but holding space is an action. Allowing, waiting is an action. Being patient is also an action, of course. There's really no such thing as doing nothing. And I find that by holding space and allowing and waiting and resting, this is probably the most effective, fastest way for things to align. We kind of feel like we need to be doing things to make it align. But often if we just relax and allow and hold the space, things will align. With your spirit guide right now, getting back onto this topic, you don't always have to have a spirit guide. Did you know that? You don't always have to be working on something and always have to be striving and always having to have a spirit guide. It's not always necessary that, you know, you may not have a spirit guide right now in this very moment, and that's okay. It's absolutely perfectly okay if you don't have one right now. And it's nice to check in to see, do you have a spirit guide right now? And the answer might be no. The answer might be yes. So maybe you've been watching this video and you thought, God, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't feel anything. I don't know if I even have a spirit guide. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Oh God. No, there's not anything wrong with you. And maybe you just don't need to have a spirit guide right now. All right. So I'm going to give another short little bit of time and then I'm going to end this video. Thank you so very much for joining me once again. Love to you all. And if you need anything from me, just send me a message. Of course, my name's Teresa. Okay, I'm going to end it. Lots of love to you. Have a wonderful, magical day. God bless and bye-bye.